On the last point around this Christian genocide, you made mention twice, I believe, of the INEC chairman's purported role in the conversation some 6 years ago when he wrote that legal brief. The clergy in the north, the Supreme Council the Sharia Council has stepped in to say, listen, if he's going to take charge of the 2027 elections, Muslims will not legitimize it, and so on and so forth. There have been several calls for the president to replace him. Not much has happened. The federal government has doubled down to say, listen, he is the choice to lead INEC. Is it about time that people who express that concern to let it go and not to further toxify the political atmosphere in this country?
This is valid concern. Valid concern. You don't need to be a professor to be the INEC chairman. You don't need to be a doctor. You don't need to be a lawyer. What you must have is integrity and trust of the people. If you lose this too, you cannot be an independent umpire. End of story.
But his boss is a Muslim. How does that work exactly? I mean, the man who appointed him, the president.
Look, you guys talk about religion. There so far have been 13 electoral umpires in Nigeria. 11 of them, only two have been Muslims. Professor Jega was the first Muslim, and then Yakubu. But all the other 11 have been Christians. So it's not about religion. So when I hear Khan talking about religion, they're missing the point. It's about integrity, which all our faiths say a person must have. Even your children, even your dad, even your wife. We have no trust in a person who believes, who wrote an 80-page brief 6 years ago supporting this lie. And you expect us to have faith in him?
Even when he was writing it, according to you, he knew it was a lie?
Well, then, if he doesn't know, these are not the kind of people you bring.
What are the chances that the facts that he had at that time supported the argument he was trying to make?
Well, look, 6 years ago, was there a Christian genocide? We're not stupid, we've been to school. You cannot sit down. Where has he been? Beyond Jos. You can't sit down in your room and bring out 80-page nonsense and expect it's true. No, this is very serious. You cannot malign whole people. You need to read about what he was talking about the Fulanis, my people. You need to write about what he's talking about Muslims. And how can I get fair destiny if I stand an election? I am Muslim, I am Fulani. So the president, don't tell me the president didn't know. If he didn't know, then his DSS were not working well. Because for you to rise to that position, the DSS must have screened you. So of all the professors, if you want to choose a professor from, I don't know where he's from, Kogi, so that's the one you must choose. If you want to choose a Christian professor from Kogi, that's the best. If you want to choose a Christian law professor from Kogi, that's the best you come up with, a person. The position of the umpire of INEC is not somebody who should come with controversies. With controversies. So, for him to stick,
can undermine the system? You believe that he's too biased to deliver credible, free, fair elections?
It doesn't matter. You've been there. You've been there. Look at you. Yeah, that's you. It's not a joke. The position of the umpire of our election is a very serious position that went through screening by our intelligence services, went through screening by the Senate, went through approval by the president. It's not a joke. He is going to superintend election. And he came with this bias documented. And he's never refuted what he said. So for the president to continue to hang on to the current INEC chairman is not only reckless, but recklessly reckless. He's not listening to the people. I don't know who brought him. I'm sure the president didn't know him. But did he ask and say, oh, go look for somebody who supports this? That's why we're saying it's all tying up. You bring in an INEC chairman who 6 years ago said there was a genocide. Now you went to Benue. You went to make it into a religious scholar. You went to the United States. You did this. They bombed Sokoto. But what do you want Nigerians, what do you want Muslims, what do you want northern Muslims to say when you send bomb with your intelligence to the heart of Muslim Sokoto Caliphate where we don't have Christian genocide, where we don't have ISIS? We're not fools.
Prof, how do you respond to people who say that, listen, we hear your argument. However, northern leaders, commentators have perfected the art of complaining just about everything and making themselves look like victims. That when Jiga held sway at INEC and Goodluck famously lost the election in 2015, not much was said about whether Jiga had an Islamic agenda to bring in President Muhammadu Buhari. Same thing with Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. Do you believe that, religion aside, the integrity of INEC or the man currently in charge of running the affairs of INEC goes beyond that 80-page legal brief? That there's more to Professor Joash Amupitan than that legal brief.
No, that's his anchor. That's what introduced him to us. That's what people will know about him. Did Jega come with the Muslim agenda? Did Yakubu come with Muslim agenda? If they did, why were they not kicked out? I wasn't in this country then. But this one you documented 6 years ago, 80-page. Why didn't the DSS? The DSS should be held accountable. Why did you not advise the president?
Maybe
and
the
say there will
DSS
be
didn't think it was a big deal.
They didn't think it was a big deal. Intelligence is a joke. They are the ones who should smell things before you and I do. They dropped the ball, or they knew and allowed this to continue. They should have advised the president, this guy has issues. And the Senate, the Senate screening is take a bow and everybody go. But our intelligence services that screened him should have known this is going to be a problem. This is documented. This is all there. It's all there. Jega didn't write anything and say Muslim, Yakubu didn't. Come on. This guy is a different INEC chairman. We've never had one like that. They came with an agenda that is documented from a lawyer, an SAN for that matter, a professor. You don't need to be a professor, you don't need to be a lawyer, you don't need to be an SAN to be chairman of INEC. What you need is integrity and trust of the people. And this current INEC chairman does not have the trust of Muslims in northern Nigeria. End of story.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, you think the 2027 general elections with Professor Joash Amupitan as chairman of INEC is going to be anything but free, fair, and credible?
Right. There's that concern. And there's that cloud.
And you believe it's grounded on...
on what he wrote.
Okay.
What he wrote. And let me tell you, let me ask the president, is this INEC chairman worth all this hassle? What does he bring in that you're going to cause these problems in Nigeria? Is he better than everybody else? What does he bring in?
Some would say he's one of the best legal minds that we have in the country.
Not true.
Top of his class.
Not true. You're anyway. So best legal minds, you brought that rubbish. 80-page lies. For goodness sake. Abdullahi, I'm not here to get irritated. Nigeria is better than this. Mr. President, you've not been advised properly by your intelligence services that did not screen him. If they screen him, they did not think this is going to be a mine that would blow up. Right. We have expressed our opinion, which we have a right to. You don't need to be a professor, you don't need to be a lawyer, you don't need to be even an educated person to run INEC. All you need is integrity and trust of the people. He doesn't have that.
And you don't have faith in him?
We don't. A lot of us don't. Millions don't.
Okay. Speaking about politics, we have a couple of minutes to spare, so let's talk about the optics of 2027. Much has been said over the past couple of weeks about what is likely going to play out. You might have heard about the grumblings within the ADC, the P2OB conversation, the Atiku Abubakar conversation. Where is Konkoso going to head to? What interests you about what is playing out in the ADC, for instance, about whether or not Atiku is the only conceivable winner in a primary election in the ADC? What could that mean for the battle ahead? And what do you make of Konkoso's outlier role as things stand? Konkoso
as what? As what?
As a free agent, presumably.
He's always been a free agent. But they've destroyed his empire in Kano.
Who's they?
You know who I'm talking about. The destroyers here in Abuja, the ones that cause trouble in PDP, the ones that cause trouble in Labour Party, the ones that cause trouble everywhere, they have destroyed NNPP, and the governor is going there doing his Dubale, and everybody is saying, on your mandate we stand. It's a joke. Truly is. Very irritating. One party system, everybody is going there to say, on your mandate we stand. All the governors, all the 36 governors, if they like, they can go to APC. That does not guarantee Mr. President victory in 2027. He's forgotten he needs the endorsement of two. Endorsement of the people and endorsement of God Almighty. God Almighty will not endorse this hunger, this corruption, this insecurity we are seeing in this country. So fellow Nigerians, do not be rattled by all these politicians running and going to one party. Hold on to your PVC. That is what is going to liberate you. Vote for a person you think will fix this country. APC will not. We've seen their tenure. What they've done is bring hunger, balkanize this country into worse ethno-religious, and the danger is you're balkanizing the military. The only institution we trust in this country. About the only institution we trust in this country are bringing Muslim Christian in. It's dangerous. We need to be very, very careful. And the chairman of INEC must go. End of story.
Right. You circle back to the INEC chairman. I think you've made your point clear about that. What about the ADC point? And I need your opinion on that one. Is ADC likely to implode because of this posturing from the obedient camp, from the Atiku camp? I mean, the leaders at the top are saying, listen, we're all for the coalition, but their followers are not necessarily on the same page.
Look, what I'm saying is that there is a process that's waiting to play itself. The primaries, right? Which is a democratic process. And if the destroyers of Nigerian politics from Abuja, I'm sure they will have their agents trying to destroy every party in this country. But there is a process waiting to go through. The primaries. Whoever wins the primaries, everybody will follow him. Whoever is not happy can go elsewhere and do whatever he wants to do. Politics is not, you can't coerce people, you can't blackmail people, you can't intimidate people, you can't insult people to vote for you.
So to those who say the only conceivable outcome is an Atiku Abubakar victory, what do you say to them?
Okay, this is what I tell people. They'll tell me, oh, 2027 is a sure thing, Tinubu will do the 20. They are forgetting one thing. God Almighty, they are not putting God Almighty in their calculations at all. They think we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do this. Who are you, fellow mortal? Fellow mortal, who are you? There were many before you that said it is them, everybody was for them, they were going to be this. Where are they today? God Almighty will sort things out for us. Our prayers. Millions of Nigerians are raising their hands and praying. God Almighty, have mercy on us and take care of this, our leaders that are not living up to the responsibility that He gave them. And based on Allah, is going to be okay.
Prof, good to see you again. Thank you for a spirited conversation. I appreciate you very much for stopping by this evening. And that is a wrap on tonight's edition of the program. Daily Politics returns tomorrow live on Trust TV. Until next time, I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. For myself and the rest of the team, thank you for joining us.